1-1 to Abreu. In the air, right-hand side, Adolis Garcia moving toward the line to get underneath. Oh, he dropped the ball. It ends up down on the ground. They're saying it's an out, that he caught it and lost it on the transfer. Now, that's an interesting call for Will Little over at first base. Garcia did put it away. Robert to third, and we'll see again. Let's see if Garcia actually squeezed this ball.
Well, the best part of this is that Luis Robert did tag up. And when he did fumble the ball, he took off. That's not on the transfer.
I didn't think so.
I don't know if you can take a look at that, but if you can, that would be a worthwhile challenge. Watch it again. Right there. I mean, he doesn't have it long enough, I don't believe.
This is challengeable.
Yeah, I think that's going to be runners at first and third, you would think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he squeezed that.
I would say right there you can see as he's moving the glove back, that ball rolled to the top of the glove and then rolled out.
Catch on the field.
Here is the rulebook's definition of catch. The relevant part is establishing the validity of the catch. The fielder shall hold the ball long enough to prove that they have complete control of the ball and that their release of the ball is voluntary and intentional. Does this release look voluntary and intentional to you?
Yeah, it's got to be E9. Here's Jose down the line. We'll take a look at where New York might put him. And you don't necessarily blame Jose for not running it out because he thinks this is going to be an out down the first base line, but we'll see if he turns it on when the ball ends up on the ground. And the answer is going to be no, because Will Little did call him out.
Yeah, and I think they're going to put him at first base, assuming that it's not a catch.
That's right.
They're going to put Jose at first base, and I think because Luis tagged up anyway, they're going to let him stay at third.
No catch, runners at first and third, if I'm reading lips right.
Yep.
After review, the call is overturned. It is not a catch. The runners are replaced at first and third base.
Great job by our crew finding those shots and getting those angles for you. It's first and third and one out. Here's one more look at it.
Now that's a good angle.
One of the things that you might be taught to look for is if the ball kind of drops straight down or at that same trajectory angle that it was hit at. So if it just continues on its trajectory for the most part and drops behind you, that is not a catch. You didn't have control. But if it pops up in the air, that change of direction suggests that you did have control of it. And so those are like little clues that can help on top of the secure, voluntary, and intentional language.
It is not a catch. The runners are replaced at first and third base.
All right, well, that is unfortunate. So it is, well, it won't be a single for Abreu. It'll be an error. I would have to assume it'll be an error anyway. And now Woody, he wants to get a little better explanation on this. And I don't know exactly what he's going to be arguing here. If it's the placement of the runners, I don't know if there's a whole lot there, right? Because for me, the fact that they leave Robert at third base is probably a break.
Yeah, I think they got it right.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we got a little extracurricular now as Ragsdale has had some words with Will Little. And I wasn't sure if I saw Will Little signal as if he was ejecting somebody. It might have been Rags. So yeah, Rags, he's had enough.
Yeah, it looks like he's out of here.
Two quick notes on this. This is the first Texas Rangers ejection of 2022. The last team that had 0, now they have 1. And Mike Estervik, the umpire at third base, I believe this is his major league debut for the 2022 season. He's obviously been on staff a lot longer than that, but he hasn't been in any games this year, so welcome back. Oh, and this is yet another replay ejection, too.
He's going to try to throw on it, but it just seems like he got ahead of himself, and it's almost like he tried to make the throw and make the exchange a little bit early. That ball pops out. Seems like the Rangers were fortunate enough to get the early call, but it was overturned, and it seemed like it was the right call.
Why? What did he do?
I have no idea. Apparently they think he got on that jet and went back to New York and made the call from there.
I mean, the Rangers are hot, evidently, with the first base umpire, but I mean, and that's a tough call for an umpire, by the way. He's shielded on that play in right field.
And also, let us not forget that he called him out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he changed his mind. They changed their mind in New York. I don't see any reason to yell at Will Little.
Unless they think it wasn't reviewable, but that's a reviewable play by the card. So first and third for the Sox, one down for Andrew Vaughn, who walked on 5 pitches in the first. Little tapper out in front of the plate. The sweep from Reagan, safe at home.
Well, unfortunately, there was nobody around to move that bat. And when Andrew dropped his bat, he didn't anticipate Luis Robert was going to try to score. He had to go over the bat.
From a teachable standpoint, since T-Mac isn't here, you want to stay in a position where you can still see potential RLI on the batter runner up the first base line, but at the same time, you have this guy charging toward home plate, so Drake does his best to do a step back. In a perfect situation, however, you're going to want to get third base extended, or maybe even a little bit to the right of third base extended, staying on that catcher's inside hip, but the play develops so quickly off of the bat right here. Just look at this, that you really don't have time to get anywhere other than a last second adjustment, because that's all the time that you have. You can't quite vacate again because you need to have a position to have knowledge on RLI issues if they throw. So Drake does the best he can, but in a perfect situation you have this angle right here from the first base camera well that illustrates how great it is to get to the right side of third base extended on the catcher's inside hip to clearly see that the catcher's tag is going to completely miss the runner and that the runner is going to touch home plate. In a perfect world, play at the plate, but not necessarily on an infield hit. Runner coming home, batter going to first base.
Wow, pretty great effort. They couldn't get him.